Hey Amis, yo, welcome back to my channel. It's your baby girl, the Echo. On today's video, we'll be doing a different thing, and this video, I have always wanted to film this video. I have always wanted to get you guys into my kitchen and show you guys my recipe, some of my recipe, and the secret to my delicious Nigerian stew. So today we will be making Nigerian stew, and I'll be showing the process, and we go together. Yep. So Amis, today we're making the Nigerian stew. It's made with tomatoes, chili, onions, your chicken or your goat meat or your beef. But in this video, I will be making use of goat meat. So I decided to bring my armies along with me. Why not? Why not? Why not? So today we're diving into this video. First of all, I got my tomatoes. What I have done so far is that I got my tomatoes and I blended them into this. This is a pot of tomatoes, nothing more, nothing added to it. I blended my tomatoes and I allow it to cook or to boil so it can evaporate the water inside the tomatoes and leave only the tomatoes. We don't need the water from the tomatoes because it will make your stew too sour. That's the reason why we boil it this way. You can see it's boiling, right? This is just tomatoes, just the red tomatoes. So if you want to try this recipe, you're a Filipino and you have a Nigerian husband or a black husband, not only Nigerians. It's not only Nigerians that eat this stew, but it is the Nigerian method that I'm showing you. The Nigerian method of cooking goat meat stew. So after you allow this boil, okay, before then I will be showing my ingredients that I'll be using for this recipe. This here is my tomatoes. It's boiling, only the tomatoes, the fresh tomatoes. That's the only thing I use. Then here is my chili. Then there is my onion. Here is some of, or rather, my ingredients. I'll be making use of the Decruz curry powder. Here. This is Decruz curry powder, and this is nutmeg that I'll be making use of. This is what? Thyme leaves that I'll be making use of. We have different form or types of thyme and curry, but I'll be making use of this too for this recipe. Here again I have this thyme, and here again I have this very curry, but I want to make use of this is from the Philippines. This thyme and this curry is from the Philippines, but I want to make use of the ones from Nigeria. So this here is from Nigeria and this here is from Nigeria, but they are all the same, just probably they have different flavor, or probably it's just me thinking they have different flavor. Then here is our goat meat. Yes, I soaked it inside the water because it's freezed, so I needed it to dissolve. This here is our goat meat that we're making use of. And here is my onion leaves. Here, onion leaves. I love to use this. Try this out. It's so lovely. And here is my curry leaves or scent leaves or basil leaves. Some people call it scent leaves. Well, I think scent leaves is in Chuang. Well, I don't know. But this, they call it basil leaves here in the Philippines. If you want to get it, you call it basil leaves. But in Nigeria, we call it curry leaves. So let's dive straight into the video and prepare our delicious Nigerian stew. I love you. So right now, we will be seasoning our meat. While our tomatoes is boiling, we season the meat with this ingredient here. That's what I will be making use of to season my meat. And watch me do it. We will be washing it. And before that, you make sure you wash your meat using salt. Salt kills any form of bacteria or any form of whatever unwanted things inside your meat. So you make use of salt to wash your meat. So here is my salt. Let me get it. Okay, here is my salt. I love to wash my meat so well. I'll be washing it for like 3 times to get sure it's very clean. Just make sure it satisfies my eye. See? And when you use salt to wash your meat, I think it tends to bring out more of the blood from the meat. Thoroughly. So our goat meat has been neatly washed. As you can see it inside the pot. So it's time for seasoning. We will be using onions, no cube, and salt. And also we will be using our dark roast curry and our thyme leaves in this seasoning. We'll have to season the meat, and that's what we will do right now. Do not mind the look of this pot. It's clean, but this is how it looks. Okay, so let's go.
There is no water in this meat. That's why it's called seasoning. You don't need water for your seasoning. Okay, so the meat or the seasoning you added to the meat can go inside the meat. This is just water from the meat. And I tried straining the meat so it can take out all form of water, but it's not possible to take out all. So this is just a little water from the meat. So we're going to turn this meat.
This guy here is ready to cook. I got this on. The tomatoes are still cooking. Then we cover. Check on our meat. Ooh, wow, this smells so good. You see here I have still not introduced water. This is the water inside the meat. This is still the water inside the meat that is cooking this for this long. I allowed it cook for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I will be introducing water soon, because this will allow the seasoning that you use to go inside for the both of them to marry themselves before you introduce a foreign body, which is water. So right now we just cover it back. It's doing pretty well and it smells so good. Oh my god. So while this meat was boiling, I was also prepping other things like my veggies, which is the onion leaf and basil or curry leaves. It's ready and it's to be chopped later. And while doing this, the tomatoes got done and I had to put it in a shifter Let me show you guys. Our tomato is also ready. It's ready. So I also prepped something in here. In here is the chili, onion, and the onion leaves. I will be blending this together. This is it. This is what is inside. Onion, chili, and onion leaves. Let's check on our meat. I already introduced water to it. Whoa. I already introduced water to it and I allowed it to cook for about 15 whole minutes again. Our meat is ready. How you get to know when your meat is mostly ready? It's when it gets something like oil on top of its water. So, but I had a taste of it also. It tastes so nice, and also it's tender to or soft the way I want it to be. So the next is to fry this very meat. Pam, hey, okay, this is our meat. It has been set aside from the stock, and this is the stock of the meat. You don't throw this away, okay? You will be making use of it, so keep it. We'll keep it here. You cooked your meat well. So this is our meat. This is 2 kilos of goat meat. That's what we're using. And here is our frying pan. We'll be frying the meat. Bro, what's wrong? We will be frying the meat. Make sure your frying pan is dried. There shouldn't be any form of water because you'll be introducing oil to it. So mine is dry. We go in and introduce our oil. We're using this to fry our meat, okay? And we'll be using the same oil to fry our tomatoes later. That's why I set aside the tomatoes. Instead of going ahead to fry it, I use the oil from my meat to fry my tomatoes. It tastes really good. It makes your stew taste fantabulous. If that's right, of course. It makes your stew taste so good. This is my secret. So this for me, this the oil, you allow it to get hot so that the meat doesn't soak in oil. It will just fry. So allow the oil to get hot. I do love the sound it gives when you add the meat. That shing. So listen for the sound. I didn't say you shouldn't get your oil heated or too hot. No, just get it a little hot and introduce your meat. We go. Oh, that sound. So our meat is ready. I'm so sorry I could not film while I was bringing out the meat. This is our meat and it's ready. It's well succulently fried. So what I did was that I took the oil from this meat that I used to fry the meat and transferred it, because it was in a frying pan, transferred it to this pot. I am making use of this pot right now. I'm making use of this pot right now to cook the stew because it helps the stew wouldn't burn until the tomato gets done. So what I did was that I poured in the oil here. I chopped my onions. If you can see here, these are onions. I chopped my onions using my chopping board. then transferred it inside the oil when the oil already heated a little bit. Then I transferred the onions and I fried it just for few seconds so it doesn't dry up. Then I introduced my tomatoes inside. Then my tomatoes has been here inside the hot oil frying, and this is the reason why I use this pot, because it helps tomato won't burn that fast. It's still burn, but a little. If I had used the other pot, the aluminium pot, by now I have to stand here and be stirring, but I've not been stirring this. But you have to stir so your tomatoes doesn't get burnt. Have to stir until your stew or your tomatoes get dry. The way to know if your tomatoes are already getting dried is you start seeing oil will surface on top, okay? Will be on the surface. Oil will be on the surface just the way it is right now. So this means my tomatoes are getting ready. But I will still fry it for about 5 minutes to 10 minutes more. I love it when it's super dried, so that all the ingredients I'll be adding will catch my tomato or my stew, okay? So this is it. So while my tomatoes is frying, this is the moment I will be introducing the onion leaves. I have chopped it into this. You do this now because it gives it some sort of flavor, very sweet, lovely flavor and taste. It tastes really nice. But I'm not going to be putting everything right now, but I'll be putting almost everything, and I'll just leave a little for later when the stew itself will be boiling. So this is what is left. I'll just leave a little. It's more needed while your stew is frying. Then you fry it together. It will give it that lovely taste. This smells really nice. So I'll be leaving this to fry for about 2 minutes more. I'll be leaving this to fry for about 2 minutes more. And while it's frying, I will chop my curry leaf or my basil leaves. So I have added my basil or curry leaves in here, and this is the time I fried it for about a minute. This is the time I will be introducing my stock or the water from my meat. Yes.
I just added the stock or the water from my meat. Then I'll be adding my nutmeg, the thyme, a little thyme more, and the curry. Then add my chili, onion, and onion leaves. Fry for about a minute only before adding the ingredients.
After adding my chili plus the onion leaves and the onion, I fried it for about a minute and it's ready to take in all the ingredients. The thyme, a little bit thyme more, my curry, I love curry, then the nutmeg, then the nut cube. I added extra water to it and added everything in it. Our stew is ready to be served. It's ready. You see that succulent look with the oil on it? Oh my god! Yeah, guys, so our stew is ready to be served. I added extra water and allowed it to boil for about 5-8 minutes, and now it's ready. It's ready. You see that succulent look? The oil on it shows it's ready. See? This is so lovely, you know? Ooh. Oh my. Delicious and smells very nice. Yeah. Should try it out. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please kindly subscribe and like this video, okay? If you want more videos like this, more cooking videos, comment down below. Comment down below. You don't need to bring justice to this too.